mask lesson. Today we're going to go through this file right here, Clipping AI, and we're gonna test out some ways to make clipping masks. You first start off by clicking on this file right here and then opening up an Illustrator. I have already done so and it will look something like this. First off, we're gonna use the image up here. We're gonna cut out the balloon. You have your layer. If you want to pull up your layers panel, if you don't have it on the screen already, it's looking on the window, and then layers. So we're gonna place that one over there so we have space to see what we're doing. So we're gonna mark everything that's on the bottom layer, which is named Object Clipping Make. I think it is. I think it said so in the instructions right here. There we go. We're gonna select everything that's on the layer Object Clipping Mask Make. We do that by clicking on this little button right here. Click once on that one, and then we have everything that's on this layer selected. Now we go up to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. And there we go. You can deselect it by just clicking anyone on the screen. And there you have our little balloon. So by doing this, we grouped all of this. It's automatically grouped together. And let's move on to the second step. To make this a clipping mask, but we're not going to group them. So the first step, they automatically group them together. So we have this little balloon, and then we have the big image in the background, somewhere around here. Oh, there we go. So the image in the background, and then this little guy right here. So we're gonna make this. We're gonna clip this one out, but we're not gonna group them. So we're doing this by going to the layer called Palette Menu. It's called Palette Menu Make Clipping Mask in the layer panel. So we're not going to select it like we did last time. We're just gonna highlight it, and then we're gonna go up to this little hamburger menu right here, and then we're gonna go to Make Clipping Mask, and there we go. So now this is just one image, and we cut out the shape of the balloon, but the balloon is not doesn't have a little square around it, so it's not grouped. It's just the image, and then it cut off the cutout, and then there we go. By using another way is to clipping by using the clipping button. So we're going to go over to the layer called Layer Mask. It's called Layer Mask Icon. This one right here. So we're going to select this by using our selection tool and just clicking on this little circle right here. We're going to go down in the layer panel and just go to this this little button that has two squares on top of each other, and then a little white dot in the middle. Click once on that one, and then we have our cutout right here. That's a little quicker way, but you can do one of these three steps, three ways, whatever you prefer the most. And then we're going to move on to the circles. You can use the clipping mask two ways. You can either use it on a rasterized image, so like an actual image, or on a vector, which is like a shape. So rasterized images are built up by pixels. So that's why if we zoom in, we can see the pixels on the rasterized image. On the vector, you don't have any pixels at all. It's very clear. And you can do clipping mask on those as well. So we can use any of the three different ways. We cut out the vector image, no, the rasterized image up here. I'm going to use the last one we used because that was pretty easy. So you start off by selecting the layer with the selection tool, just by this little round button, or by clicking once and dragging over the stuff you wanna make a clipping mask of. And then we can click on the little Make/Release Clipping Mask button right here. Click on once, and there we go. If you want to make a fill, like if you want to get this little round thing a background, we just select it all again. Boom, and then we double click on the fill over here, and then select the color, and then OK. and then deselect. And there we go. Happens if you try to make a clipping mask using multiple layers. So we're gonna back up. Oh, there we go. I backed up too much. Add a color on this one, yellow. If you want to add a stroke, you can do that as well. It's just normal. You go into stroke and then add a stroke on that one. Okay, for the next one, we're gonna mark this whole thing. We go to layers. We're gonna select this one, and then we're gonna select. Oh, that's not the right one. We're gonna select. There we go. This one. Mask on multiple layers. We're going to select one line of the test layer, which is here. So we're going to select, I think it's this one. No, the test one is down here. There we go. So we select all of the ones that's on mask on multiple layers. We're going to hold down our shift key and select one single line of the lower circle and lines. Go to object, create a clipping mask, and make. So because we had our selected pieces on two different layers, it stole the bottom line from our test layer and pulled it to the mask on multiple layers. So by doing this, we showed you that it's not a good way to go. If you want to do a clipping mask, you should have everything on the same layer. Otherwise, it can get really messy and some stuff disappears, or like suddenly stuff you had in the front is in the background. So it's just a better way to go to have everything you want to make a clipping mask out of on the same layer. It's just a tip from the coach. Compound paths to cut a hole in an object so whatever is behind it will show through. We're going to use these objects at the bottom of the page. First, we're going to select the blue rectangle and the 3 small pink circles. Holding down shift, click on one circle, second and third. We are going to go up to object and go to compound path, which is down here, and then make. And then suddenly the pink circles are now cut out of the blue bigger shape, and we can see what's in the background. This is it for this little lesson. There's a lot more to explore and cool stuff to do with clipping masks and stuff like that, but these are the basic tools you need to use clipping masks. Looking forward to see what you create for this week's assignment.